What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P, and today we're going to be showing off my gaming setup and YouTube studio tour for 2021. So sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I know typically I had this video out the first week of January, but shipping delays have been crazy since the holidays. And yes, we actually have some notable upgrades to show off in the YouTube studio. So we're gonna go through all of it, show you what's new, what's changed, show you what's behind the scenes, what's behind the camera, literally, and go through pretty much everything in the studio so you can see what I'm working with behind the scenes. And I will have everything you see in this video listed for you in the description down below, so you can check out all the gear and hardware, whatever we show off in the studio will be down in the description. So let's start it off now.
All right, so starting off, this is pretty much what I see every time I'm filming. This is the main overhead desk that you guys pretty much see with like product reviews and stuff. But I sit right in front of here with my camera pointing right at me, as you can see, and I have myself referenced and monitoring in this Lilliput 11-inch monitor. So what we're gonna do is, keep it short for the camera gear and this sort of stuff. And then just to do like a mini tour real quick, we'll go talk about the secondary setup behind the scenes, talk about some of the keyboard stuff that you guys I know have been looking forward to. Then we have the main desk setup over here, and then the entertainment center and stuff on the other side of the office, which has a brand new 82-inch 8K TV. So yeah, we'll just kind of bring it back and start right here. So like I said, this is where you pretty much see everything when I'm filming as it is. And interested in the actual hardware, I've talked about it before, this hasn't changed in the last few years, but my camera is the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K. This isn't the Gen 2 version, it's the original, but that's what I use to film pretty much everything. And like I said, I have it into this reference monitor here so I can see what I'm filming. And like I said, with all the gear and hardware listed down below, I'll also put things like the actual lens I'm using, the tripod and head and all that stuff. So I'll put that down below if you can find out more about it if you want. Overhead is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. This is also what I use to get some, secondary shots for overhead stuff. It's pretty much my B cam, and I have it hooked up to an Axoon Cine-Eye. It's a wireless HDMI transmitter, and it's all powered off right now because I'm not using it. But it lets me, transmit the video signal wirelessly to my phone or an iPad to monitor it, so I don't have to have, more cables running down to see what I'm actually filming. So that comes in clutch with that camera. So like I said, pretty much like a B cam for me. And since it's all Blackmagic, it's the same color science and stuff, it all pairs perfectly. And I have that mounted on a Minimax, which is a giant overhead boom arm. And it's super heavy duty. It actually supports my Ursa Mini Pro stuff if I want to mount it up there as well. And then also for my microphone, it's the Sennheiser MKH416. This is what you hear 99% of the time on my channel, pretty much for like voiceovers and stuff. But yes. That's pretty much, the main stuff going on here. I can put some of the lighting gear down below if you want to, learn more about that. And just so right now for my audio, I have the Evo 4, so that's, into a wireless transmitter so I can get better audio when I'm filming this and walking around and stuff. So it's not usually set up like that, but just for this video, that's what we're gonna have to do to get better audio. So again, most of that stuff down below, but yes, the Ursa Mini Pro, the main workhorse that I use. Now this little setup, as you guys saw in previous videos, looks like in the last vlog and stuff, this was usually just this, fake brick wall that I had for just like a secondary sort of scene, background texture. But I used my old IKEA Carlby desktop and made like a secondary set over here for getting things organized, different overhead shots. Again, just more variety and stuff from when I'm filming. So this is one of the newest additions, have everything set up over here. And just, better things for organizing pretty much. Stuff like prop drawers over here. So if I want to change up, what I'm showing overhead, I can have them all organized nicely in these sort of pull-out drawers and pick a prop as I please. Some paper rolls, again, for background shots, background textures and stuff, or when I'm getting overhead stuff. Just again, all variety. And then over here to, this used to be called the minimal setup, but now since I have the Samsung 49-inch G9 Odyssey, I guess I can't really call it, the the clean setup anymore because it's just massively overkill. So I reviewed this during the summer when I got it, and it is just an insane gaming monitor. I don't really have a PC over here right now. I have it docked up to one of the Asus ROG Scar laptops. And it's, it works out for what it is. Again, some background shots and stuff. If you want to get a different variety. It still works fine for gameplay, obviously, but an absolutely just insane monitor. My main peripherals of choice over here, we have the HyperX Alloy Origins core with their Aqua switches. Absolutely fantastic keyboard. One of my favorites of all time. HyperX is killing it with this. And I have some midnight green keycaps on here from Taihao. This is a Cooler Master, I believe it's the M11. But again, all matching aesthetically and stuff. Headphones, the Sennheiser HD800S, one of the holy grails to me. Love these guys. And then the Transparent One Encore speakers from Vanatu. Again, I did an entire video pretty much on this dedicated studio or setup. I want to say around the end of 2019. So a lot has changed, but at the same time, most of it's pretty familiar. And yes, the Random Frank P Topo mouse pad, we're working on getting more for you guys. So don't you worry. Over here, this is a bit of a change up from recent years. You should just have like camera gear and stuff. But I've been working on sort of like a retro sort of shelving spot. Some old PS1, N64, some old games complete in box and stuff. Down here, I just have a little keyboard display, kind of like a transformation and evolution of an old like Apple keyboard from the 80s, some of the current stuff now. I'll build it up more as we go along. But yes, a little shelving unit over here. And all the stuff that I had before, all the camera gear and stuff, I now just moved over here on this shelving unit, just so it's more organized and easier for when I'm filming right next to it. I can pretty much come over here, grab a lens, that kind of stuff. Moving our way over to this, which is probably, confusing to most people, but yes, these are all different mouse pads, and yes, I have them on display and mounted here. Got to give a shout out to Dixie Mech, formerly known as, they are now OmniType. They showed this idea because they obviously have tons of different mouse pads that they sell, and I get a lot in, different textures, different surfaces, so when it comes to getting all these different mouse pads in and reviewing them, I need a place to store them, and I don't want them to get damaged or rolled up or anything, so I have them on display here. It's just like a wardrobe rack pretty much. And then over to my keyboard section. This is where I pretty much store and house all my keyboard stuff to keep for future builds. So I have my key switch wall right here. In this, I don't know what you want to call it. I think it's the Ivar from IKEA. I could be butchering that, you know how they are. Some keycaps for future builds, actual keyboards that still need to build, accessories, different stuff in here, different keycaps. It's a nice place to keep it all organized, And it looks nice, this piece, whatever. Like again, I believe it's called the Ivar, but with most things IKEA, not the best quality. And then up top here, I'm gonna be doing a video on this very soon. This is called the Prep Deck. And this is another great accessory for building keyboards because it's made for the kitchen, for like when you're cooking and stuff, but I have tons of things like different springs, stabilizers, switches I need to lube, actual lube, all my keyboard building accessories. It's a fantastic piece that's not made for keyboard building, but when it comes to lubing different switches and having all my stuff organized, different foams, it's literally the perfect piece for that. So again, the Prep Deck, and that would be completing the sort of keyboard building section off to the side here. And I guess now we can go in and talk about my main gaming setup that I've been rocking consistently since whenever I moved in here, 2018. Same sort of monitor setup, but I did get different monitors this year, so all three of these are different. Completely upgraded PC and specs. And then next to the setup, again, this also changed, but now I have a keyboard sort of display shelf to put some of my custom keyboard builds on display. So I think it's definitely a nice piece just to have right off to the side of the setup, So checking it out, like I said, I've had this monitor orientation for a while, and just to sort of like clear the air now, I say it every year, but people don't understand. I don't sit directly in front of all three at once and stare at a bezel. The right monitor is my primary monitor that I sit right in front of. This is my main monitor. Everything else is for monitoring different, like vector scopes and stuff for color correcting, bins and stuff, overhead for whatever, Spotify, Twitter. I don't use Usually all three at once, and again, just for gaming, I use my primary right monitor. So yeah, just to kind of clear that, because I know I'm gonna see it. No, the bezel is not what I stare in front of 24/7. And the bottom two monitors are the upgraded 34-inch Ultra Gear monitors from LG. It's the, I wanna say the 850 model, so natively it supports G-Sync instead of in the past where it was just FreeSync. So those are the bottom two. You may have seen in my one vlog that the monitor caught fire and the other one died, so it was time to upgrade, to say the least. So those are what I have for the bottom two. This top one is no longer the 34-inch Samsung, it's now a 34-inch AOC, also 144 Hertz. And my plan with this was to have a 38-inch from Dell, the Alienware model, but that arrived completely broken and shattered. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait for that upgrade. But yeah, still 32 or 34 inches for that, completing the trifecta there. And into some of the peripherals and some of the gear and stuff. These speakers that I have mounted on each side are not actually for when I'm sitting down. I know they're not, you know, when I'm sitting down, you want them right at your ears. They are more up, so when I'm filming around the studio and stuff, I can, you know, have music blasting to me and just fill the studio with music. So I don't use them for actual, you know, reference and stuff and gaming when I'm sitting here. That's mainly for my headphones and stuff. These are the Kanto YU either 4 or 5. It's been a while, but either the Kanto YU 4 or 5. Again, mounted as well. A nice, clean, you know, seamless mount and appearance here. But yes, for the main peripherals, this also changed significantly over the last year. My main keyboard now is a SteelSeries Apex Pro TKL, so it has their really quick Omni-type switches. Also have a set of just midnight green modifier keycaps on there and a nice novelty key to fit it into the midnight green kind of theme I have going on with the setup overall. So I have that as my main keyboard. Absolutely love this. I wanted to cut down from the old full-size Corsair keyboards I had because I just never really used the numpad and stuff. And this has macros built in. It's got full, you know, volume control, a bunch of different things right here with this smart dial for controlling everything on the fly. The macros, the switch speed, lighting, everything is controlled with this dial, and you have the actual LCD screen here, which is pretty cool. So yes, that is my main keyboard. The wrist rest is from Artisan Labs. He made me this really nice acrylic one that is, you know, kind of matching to the whole theme. And then for my mouse, we have the Razer Viper Ultimate. This did not change over the last year, so I didn't upgrade this, but I cannot get away from it. I love the ambi shape, lightweight form factor, definitely a killer mouse, especially when it comes to, you know, wireless. So no interference, optical switches. And my mouse pad is the Mad Catz Glide 38, which is definitely my go-to. Such a unique rubberized texture, very, very fast with the pure grade feet here on the Viper Ultimate. And it's just a really unique texture for a mouse pad. And as you just you know saw, I show off a bunch of different ones and check out different textures, and I just keep coming back to the Glide 38. So yes, that is my main peripheral sort of setup here. Into some other things. This is the Loop Deck Live, and it's pretty much like an Elgato Stream Deck alternative. It's for whatever you're doing, photo editing, video editing, music production, live streaming. This is a really, really killer versatile tool. It's all touchscreen, has buttons and dials, but I mainly use it, you know, for video editing and color correcting and stuff. It's just a great tool to have to learn on the fly as well. You'll see more about it soon. I have a video with this coming up, and it definitely is a bit of a, you know, an adjustment, you know, a learning curve to kind of relearn editing with using this tool. But the Loop Deck Live, I think it's definitely worth it in the end. And that's what I have, you know, to use in conjunction with the keyboard. Next to that is my amp and DAC for powering my headphones. This is the Grace Design M9XX. Nice, you know, convenient volume dial up top. And my headphones of choice, which has been pretty consistent, the Sennheiser and Massdrop HD58X Jubilee. They're open back, so they're great for gaming. I love open back headphones. Also great for studio monitoring. I've been using these probably for 2 years now. I just keep them on this boom arm. I forgot the actual model, but it's from Samsung. Again, I'll have it down below. And that's also holding my microphone that I'll use for some like live streams, some voiceovers and stuff that I'll do for certain videos. The Shure MV7 got like a touch screen up top for volume adjustment, and on this arm I could just, you know, swing it over in front of me, adjust the arm because it's all telescopic and stuff. So definitely versatile. And I believe that covers most of the actual, you know, gear and hardware here. My chair is from Herman Miller, it's the M body. I've had this since 2016. Absolutely great in terms of ergonomics when I'm sitting down a lot, editing 24/7. A very, very comfortable chair. And the actual desktop also changed over the last year. Like I showed you on the other side of the setup, I have the old IKEA Carlby desktop. This is actually a live edge desktop that I got from Home Depot over the summer. I did a vlog about it then. It's the same size pretty much, but it just has a much more natural finish to it since it's all wood versus the sort of composite material on the old IKEA desk. So this actually natural and real. But I also do underneath have a support arm, as you can see in the back, keeping it up, just in case it does ever sag over time. But yeah, it's a lot heavier, a lot sturdier, and it looks a lot nicer with the live wood edge, I think. So yes, those are the main upgrades for the desk setup and peripherals. Then we can move over and talk about the new hardware that I have inside my PC, which I just upgraded, I believe back in December. So it's the same case, the Fantex Evolve X, but inside, all new hardware. With the Intel i9-10900K CPU, got one of the new NZXT Kraken Z AIOs, and on the front of the cooler is actually a display, so I can monitor temps, show things like GIFs and stuff if I want up there, so it's cool to have that built into the actual AIO itself. Got a Vision motherboard from Gigabyte, so nice and white. It fits that sort of aesthetic I have going on inside. 64 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. And the Gigabyte Vision RTX 3080. So again, with their Vision lineup, it matches the motherboard perfectly. All white, and I think it just looks really nice as a whole, and it's a completed build. Also have like an RGB 24-pin motherboard connector there just to give it some extra glow inside. Some Fantex digital fan frames. So those are not actual RGB fans you see, they are fan frames. So they go on top of the fan, and you can sync them all with the actual motherboard and the case itself, since it is all Fantex. The button right here in the front, if I want to, customize the lighting, switch it all up, all that syncs, and it looks pretty cool just to have that, universal syncing and stuff going on with the case itself, and then everything inside automatically changes. But a powerful build, a nice and clean looking build, and a nice little shout out to Gengar there on the inside. But yeah, that's the main upgrade over here. And like I showed you just before we started talking about the main setup, the little shelving unit I added recently with all of the recent builds that I've done for custom keyboards. I got the Fiel, the D65, the Grid 600, the NK65, and then our custom Novel Keys and Random Frank P NK65 with some of the Topo and Midnight Green / teal accents and stuff. But yes, a nice little section over here to have that all on display. And then we could start to wrap it up and talk about the entertainment center over here in this whole entertainment setup pretty much that has definitely had a pretty nice upgrade since last year with the new Samsung 82-inch 8K TV. And I know gaming at this size and resolution sounds absolutely ridiculous, and yes, it is, but I can promise you it is also as insane as it sounds, and everything upscales surprisingly well to a TV like this. I know there's not a lot of 8K content, that can support it and run natively on the TV, but man, things like on the Series X, gaming on there, some upscaling and stuff that's done in the Nvidia Shield TV that I have, it all looks really, really good. And then also off to the side here, I have a gaming PC, which is the Main Gear F131, a super nice custom hardline cooling PC that is just beautiful. Inside, it also has a 10900K CPU, 2080 Ti, and this if I want to, get some gaming done on here, some casual stuff, obviously nothing too competitive over here. Can do that on the TV, the wireless peripherals and stuff. Some other things to show off is this is a brand new entertainment center. Finally, I used to have a very, very small, thin, flimsy one. This a lot more nice, a lot more modern and stuff. This is one of the things I was waiting on for a while to get in. That arrived just a few weeks ago. And here I have in the little cubby the Xbox Series X. Over here is that Nvidia Shield TV. And this is the main, pretty much, power box for the TV itself. So nothing gets plugged into the actual TV. It's all runs down just this one little cable, and then power, audio devices, HDMI, all plugs into the main box there to keep it all organized and clean. But yeah, definitely a fan of the entertainment center here. Yeah, I got this from Wayfair, so it fits in nicely. Also have this mounted, as you can see, behind it. So just nice and organized. Man, super thin for a TV like this. So what I pretty much do over here, like I said, if I'm not, PC gaming or whatever, obviously with the Xbox Series X, it does a pretty good job at upscaling. So I want to play some games on there. Looks really, really nice. Even going back and playing like 360 games in the Series X, upscale surprisingly well to a TV at this size and resolution. Now the Shield TV I think is just highly, highly underrated. It is very powerful for the size, and what I use this for is pretty much just like a bunch of emulators, essentially. Like I have a ton of emulators and ROMs on here. I'm using Arc Browser. It's a really nice and clean UI where all your games and consoles are laid out nicely, and have it all just loaded on, and I can go through and play pretty much whatever ROM or emulator I want or that you could think of. Minus the more recent and current builds and stuff. Anything pretty much past PS1, it's not going to do too good of a job at. But it's all laid out real nicely. If I want to go in and play N64, PS1, some old Game Boy games, even some DS stuff, like it handles tons of games really, really well. And even in the Nvidia Shield itself, it has its own smart AI upscaling that it does, which again, for running some of these really old games that would probably look really crappy on an 8K TV, it does a really, really good job at upscaling and sharpening it and making it look better and more modern for this TV, which really blew me away. So this has been really fun to just kick back and play some old games on here. It's also Bluetooth built in, so I can use like a PS5 controller or an Xbox controller and just play it all on the Shield TV. So even though the entertainment center itself is pretty bare bones, I did want to get like a soundbar and stuff eventually. But yeah, I'll eventually build that up with more stuff. Got the drawers for some controllers. Kick back here, got some more controllers and stuff. But yes, gaming at this size, definitely insane. And over here in this corner of my air guitar collection, mounted on this spot over here, the 1 million subscriber plaque from YouTube. And then just this spot over here is pretty much stuff that I have in the queue of stuff that I have to get to very soon for videos. So you'll be seeing a lot of this stuff in videos very, very soon. And I think that about wraps it up and brings me right back to where we started.
All right, so guys, that'll wrap it up for my 2021 gaming setup and studio tour. Hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, if you saw anything you like, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below, so you can check out all the gear and hardware I showed. And if I did miss something, if you saw something you like or something I didn't really talk about but you want to know more about it, drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to update the description as we go along to hopefully cover all bases here. But yeah, I understand that this YouTube studio is very overkill and over the top for a one-man crew like me. But when it comes to, doing YouTube as a full-time job and having different spaces and different sets throughout the studio, it really helps my workflow because as a one-man crew, literally when it comes to spacing, getting certain shots and framing certain things, it helps to have different areas to film and to change up every now and then. So there's more, versatility and just more variety in my videos instead of just one static thing, one shot that you see, one desk 24/7 over years. So again, having all the different spaces, even though they're not even used 24/7, just helps my workflow in the end. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you dig the look behind the scenes at my gaming setup and studio tour. If you did, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.